Hi boys and girls, welcome to story time today. Now, I know that we haven't celebrated Thanksgiving yet, but guess what holiday is just around the corner? Yep, you're right, it's Christmas. So I wanted to share a very special Christmas story with you today. It's called The Sparkle Box. And you can see the beautiful sparkly present right here with the purple ribbon. Here's the title page. Once again, it says The Sparkle Box. On this beautiful Christmas evening, it says, "Dear reader, you are the light of the world. Make it sparkle." I think they're talking about our heart lights, where our invisible buckets are. Okay. So snowflakes swirled through the air as Sam and his mom stopped to look at the toys in the toy store window. With Christmas only a few weeks away, Sam needed to make his Christmas list. He tugged on his mom's sleeve and pointed to the train. Oh, there it is. He loved the shiny red engine. So he's got to make his Christmas list, all the things that he'd like to ask Santa for that he would like to have under his Christmas tree on Christmas morning. Later, as Sam and his mom curled up on the couch to read a Christmas book, something sparkly on the mantel caught his eye. "Mom, is that a present for me?" he asked. Sam's mom tousled his hair. "It's just a special gift called a sparkle box. We'll open it together later, but we need to fill it first." Sam was really excited. It was so hard to wait. Driving home from school the next day, Sam's mom stopped at a building he had never been to before. She asked him to help her carry in some food and blankets. Sam peeked into the bag he was carrying, and he noticed a box of macaroni and cheese, his favorite. "What are we doing with this stuff, Mom?" She smiled and said, "We're giving it to people who don't have enough food to eat or blankets to keep them warm. They didn't have the things that they need to live every day." But inside the building, Sam didn't see anyone who looked cold or hungry. Just a nice lady with a big smile who thanked them. But on the way home, they drove by the park. It was dark, and the pretty Christmas lights had just come on. As they stopped at a traffic light, Sam noticed someone on a bench, curled up and sleeping. His mother noticed too. "Oh, that's someone who may get one of our blankets," she said softly. "He doesn't have anywhere to live." Oh, geez, Sam felt bad. It would be sad not to have a home to live in. Boys and girls, remember how we talked about a house is something that we need to live? We need to have a place that keeps us warm when it's snowing outside. This poor man on the bench does not have a house to live in. He must be very cold tonight. Sam hung up his coat when he got home. It was so good to be home where it was warm. As he sat at the kitchen table to have a snack, he noticed the sparkle box up on the mantel. "Mom, did you put anything in the sparkle box yet?" he asked. "Well, actually, I did put something in it today," she said. "But it's still not ready to be opened. We need to add a couple more things to it." Sam wondered what would be inside. The days flew by, and soon it was time for one of Sam's favorite events, the Christmas party at his daddy's work. There was always lots of delicious food and a present for every child at the party. Sam's dad thanked everyone for coming. He talked about the blessings that they were, and he talked about how blessed they were. I'm sorry, boys and girls. When many people in the world struggled to have just the simple things that they needed, like clean water to drink. He said that there was a village in Africa. Remember, Africa was a continent that we talked about on our map, on our globe. Remember, it is the green one. Yes. So there were people in Africa that didn't even have clean water to drink. So the people at Sam's daddy's work chipped in money so that they could buy the people in Africa some clean water. And everybody helped. That night, as Sam's daddy tucked him into bed, Sam thought about the Christmas list that he had made, that shiny engine that he wanted. And it reminded him about that other present. "Daddy, did you and Mom fill up the sparkle box yet?" Sam asked. "Well, we added something to it tonight, but it's still not ready to be opened." So Sam drifted off to sleep, imagining what could be inside. A few days later, Sam was filled with excitement as he shopped with his mom. Tomorrow was his school party. There was a Christmas tree called a mitten tree where the kids could hang mittens, hats, and scarves for people who really needed them. Sam picked up the biggest pair of mittens he could find. He also bought a candy bar for himself with his very own money. When he turned to leave, Sam heard the tinkling of bells. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. He looked up and saw the man from the park. Boys and girls, this is the man that was sleeping on the park bench, and he was coming in the door. The man seemed very tired. Sam looked at the candy bar in his hand and thought about the mittens in his bag. He looked at the man's hands. They looked so cold. Sam's heart began to pound. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. He was nervous. As quick as a wink, Sam slipped his candy bar into the bag with the mittens, and he pressed the bag into the man's hands. And Sam ran out the door shouting, "Merry Christmas!" His mom gave him a hug. She said, "I am so proud of you, Sam. I know that wasn't easy, but you brought a little light into the world tonight." Boys and girls, do you know why Sam brought light into the world that night? Because he gave those mittens and a candy bar that he bought with his very own money to that poor man that was sleeping on the park bench that had no food and no house to live in and didn't even have mittens to keep his hands warm. Wasn't that a kind thing to do? He was really filling buckets, wasn't he? Sam asked his mom if they could drive by the park. As he watched the flame on a giant candle blink on and off, he thought about how unfair it was that some people didn't have a home to live in or food to eat. It just didn't seem fair. Soon it was Christmas Eve, the most special night of the year. Sam and his family gathered at their church for a Christmas Eve service. They sang songs and listened to the story of the first Christmas. Then, in the darkened sanctuary, a single candle was lit. The candle was used to light other candles, and soon everyone was carefully passing the flame from one person to the next, until the whole room was filled with magical light. Sam looked around. How lovely and how peaceful they all looked as they shared the Christmas light together. That might look like your church on Christmas. On Christmas morning, Sam ran downstairs as fast as he could. Under the tree was the train with the shiny red engine that he really wanted. It's right over here. And what was that? The sparkle box. Sam could hardly wait to open it. He sat on his mom's lap with his dad snuggled in close. Sam slowly lifted the lid of the box. There he is right there. Inside, there were just a few pieces of paper with words written on them. Puzzled, he took the papers out and began to read the words out loud. The first piece of paper said mittens and a candy bar given to someone in need. The second paper said warm blankets and food for the homeless. That was the macaroni and cheese. And the third paper said clean water for the people in Africa. Sam's mom explained, Sam, the sparkle box is our gift to Jesus on Christmas Day, his birthday. Sam was confused. But we didn't give Jesus a gift. We gave things to people who needed them. And his mom just smiled. She said, you're right. And no gift could make Jesus happier, she said. He taught us that whatever we do for people in need, we do for him. So each year we'll think of some special gifts to give to Jesus. We'll write them down. We'll write down these gifts and put them in our sparkle box. And on Christmas morning, we'll open the box and read out loud the gifts we gave in honor of his birthday. Sam thought about the man curled up on the park bench that didn't have a home to live in, the mittens and the soft blankets, the water, the clean water that they were able to buy for the village in Africa. He looked at his mom, smiled through his tears, and just said, happy tears. Sam had happy tears because he and his family were able to give people around the world the things that they needed in order to live. So boys and girls, I want you to think back to the shoe boxes that you had at your house that you decorated. You may not realize this, but those are your sparkle boxes that you brought back to our classroom. Now, all those gifts that you brought to school, that your moms and dads bought and brought to our school before we started to learn at home, those were all special gifts that are going to go inside of the sparkle boxes that you decorated. Miss Shannon and I are going to fill them for you since we are not able to be at school together. And we are going to make sure that they get to little boys and little girls that don't have the things that they need this Christmas. So you too were able to fill sparkle boxes and fill buckets. I'm very proud of you.